Welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast, your friendly guide through all the ups and downs of life. We're here to remind you that every woman has the strength to take charge of her journey and make her dreams come true. Each week, we'll share heartwarming stories and helpful tips from amazing women who have faced their own challenges and come out stronger. Tune in, get inspired, and let's start this exciting journey towards achieving your dreams together. The Women Lighthouse, your guide to a brighter tomorrow. Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you on the show today. I want to begin by saying a very big thank you to you all for your support during the season when I lost my mom. Thank you for every call, for every message, for all the gifts, all the show of love. You can see how I'm smiling. That's how palpable your love towards me was. And I just want to say a big thank you. So, in view of the loss of my mom, I got to reflect a lot. A lot. I'm still reflecting, but I decided to share some things with you. And one of the things I'll be sharing is what I'm discussing today, which is how do you prepare your loved one for your demise? Your loved one, basically, maybe your kids, close people that are related to you, just in case you don't have kids. How do you prepare them for your demise? I'll be sharing with you 8 things that my mom did that helped us to take her loss with braveness, courage, and strength. And those 8 things would also help you stay prepared. So, the first thing is you need to begin by talking about your wishes. But before I go into explaining this, preparing for the demise, your demise, preparing your loved one for your demise is very crucial because it has a way of providing a roadmap for your loved ones when you are no more, providing them with closure and to deal with the trauma of your loss. It's in fact, I don't even know how to begin to explain that. But basically, the first thing you need to do is you need to begin to talk about your wishes. What do you want when you are no more? How do you want to be buried? How do you want things to run in your absence? For instance, let me use myself as an example. With regards to my dad, like he clearly stated, I lost my dad like a year ago. He clearly stated how he wanted to be buried, where he wanted to be buried, how the burial should be carried out. So nobody could wake up one day and tell us, oh, this is our tradition, this is how we do things, this is how you should be buried in our place. Our father had already educated us on that, and my mom was even alive. So it was seamless because it was written, stated, this is how I want to be buried, and it helped us, saved us a lot of stress. In the case of my mom, for instance, we already know her mom is still alive. My mom practically was always took care of her mom. We saw how she took care of her mom, and she has always communicated and showed us how she took care of her mom. We don't need a soothsayer to tell us that it is our mom's wish that in her absence, her mom should be taken care of. You understand, right? So it's important that you communicate your wishes, whatever your wishes are, in whatever regard, communicate your wishes clearly so that it provides guidance on how things should be done when you are no more. The next thing that you need to do in preparing your loved one for your demise is that it's important to have an emergency plan with contacts and steps. Like have an emergency checklist, because sometimes if you don't provide guidance to your child or your loved one, they may not really know what to do. Provide an emergency checklist in the midst in the happening of my demise. This is what should be done. This is who you should contact. Like I know my dad also did that. He communicated, this is who you should contact, this is what should be done. And step by step, you communicate that and let it just be there. There are certain things that should be there. So when I talk about an emergency checklist, I'm not talking about like a will. You should have it written somewhere. Like I know my mom did that before she passed. She gave us a list of things that we needed in case an emergency happens. Use these details and handle things. You must empower your child with something. Don't leave your kids stranded. And I'm grateful to my mom for that. Password, you can't die with your password. Don't even think of it. You cannot die with your password. Then your child is stranded. They cannot access funds because you died with your password. Please. I can't even imagine that happening. Don't let it happen at all. So have an emergency checklist. And by that means you must have built a strong bond with your children. You know that they are not going to scam you and run away, because I know that's what some of people are afraid of. Hey, if I expose my password to my child when I'm alive, what if the child runs away or siphons my money and all that? You, I believe, will train your child not to be like that. But just in case you have a child that you can't trust, there will definitely be someone you can trust. It can even be your legal representative. All you need to do is tell your child in the midst of any emergency, contact, you have your legal representative who would release what needs to be released. That document will be sealed. So this one is not will now. It's an emergency um, checklist or something that will provide guidance to your loved ones on what to do, how to do, and when to do it. So it's very important. Empower your children. Have an emergency checklist. Write everything that they need to be able to go on with life and also give you the befitting burial that you need. Another thing is you must have a will. Please, this is not the era where you can afford to die and you will not have a will. Thank God for the kind of family I came from. That my parents trained us well, that we're not the type that will be fighting against each other. But what if you now belong to a family that they're always fighting, or in laws, or siblings? There's always one rivalry here and there. It's important to have a will where your wishes are clearly stated legally, and no one will come and want to start contesting and saying this is my own, that is my own. So it's important. I've done an episode on crafting a last will and testament. You should check it out. That would help you, where I interviewed a legal practitioner. She guided us on the importance of a will and how to go about it. The next thing you need to do is introduce your children to your close associates. It's very important. That one, my mom did not even fail in that regard. We knew all her close friends, all her close colleagues. They would stand as pillars when you are no more for your kids. But imagine if you raised your kids in isolation, no support, no one that they can run to. Ah, you don't want that for your child. It's important that you introduce from when they are young. It doesn't have to be when you are old. When you are young, let them be familiar with who your best friend is, their family, let them bond with their kids. That strong relationship, but let your kids be familiar with your close associates, so that in times when you are no longer there, your kids will not be in isolation. They will have people that will support. I know how many of my mom's friends will bring food for us and say eat. How many of them will support us? Oh, use this one and prepare for your mom's burial. How many of us prayed for us? We had prayer chains, prayed with us, prayed for us. That, and my mom is not here, but she didn't leave us stranded. And I am grateful to God for that. So it's important to introduce your children to your close associates. And the next thing you need to do is you need to teach them how to run key family responsibilities. Teach them, they must be aware. If not, people will come and push them to their left, push them to the right. They don't know their left from their right. Teach them what the traditions are, the cultures, the traditions. That's one thing my father did. We used to go to village every year. In fact, at a point, twice in a year, Easter and Christmas, he must be in the village. Exposed us to the culture, exposed us to the tradition. So when it was time for us to do burial, we knew what was obtainable. Yes, there were uncles that were there to guide us, but we were not naive. We were doing it not with ignorance. We just needed their guidance. But we already had the foundation laid because we knew how to handle key family responsibilities. We knew who to contact. We knew who the elder of the family was. We knew what the protocols were. We knew what we needed to do. And it was seamless. So, from an early age, begin to use this as teaching moments. Expose your kids, explain to them this is how things should be done. I remember recently my husband was talking to my son. I was like, you're going to run a business. Through your business, you're going to be paying people school fees, this and that. It sounded funny. But those little, and this is my son that is just 5 years, those little teaching moments go a long way to begin to lay the right foundations for your children to know that there are certain family responsibilities that they must be familiar with. Another thing is write personalized letters or do videos for your kids. Just do it and keep. You can all these things can be reviewed on a yearly basis. Like as I am in my mid 30s, there's nothing wrong in me doing a video for my kids. Next year I can do another one and you just keep it in a file and in a document. And this thing will be part of your will or that emergency checklist you will put. You give them access to go and watch that video. Prepare ahead of time. You don't have to wait till you are old. Do it now. Look at Jesus. At age 33, he was gone. Once he fulfilled what he was called to do on earth, he left. We pray for long life. But the question is, what if you don't make it to that long life? It's not a curse, but it's just being prepared. Let every day that God gives you life, make the best of it. Do videos, personalized videos where you talk to your children. When you are not there, they will go back and watch that video and they will find solace, they will find courage, they will find the encouragement. We see these things on movies, but they are real. Don't die and your kids cannot hear you speak to them a heartfelt conversation. You may not be able to do it when you are alive, but you can pour out your heart, do a video, write a letter, and speak into their life when you are not there. Every time they will go back. Create memories. Some of us don't create memories with our children. Document, don't just create them, document them so that your children can go back. I remember going through my mom's phone and I saw a video of her dancing and doing exercise and I laughed. I laughed. I said, "Kai, mommy, I miss you." Create memories. Make the best. Don't be busy, busy, busy pursuing life and you are not intentional about preparing your children for your demise. Please, it's very, very important. Another thing you need to do is you need to set aside funds for your burial. We pray that God will bless our children to be better than us. But just in case, if you have that capability, please begin to set aside funds that will be used for your funeral arrangements. That way, it doesn't put your children under stress. It doesn't put your children under stress. That was something that helped my dad, or that helped us with my dad, and also helped us with my mom. They really prepared us and it made life easy. And we were able to honor them and give them a great farewell without stress. So it's very important. Set aside funds that will be used for your burial so that you don't burden your children with that responsibility. No matter how little those funds are, it goes a long way to support. And it's, trust me, you will regret it. So These are basically the 8 things that I know my parents did that helped us in preparing us for their demise. Grief is a journey. It's not something that would end all of a sudden, but you have a role to play in making the grief process easier for your loved ones if you can put to practice these 8 steps which I've shared with you. So I want you to know that there is nothing wrong with preparing for your demise. There is nothing wrong when you begin to talk about what you want when you are no longer there. I know then when my dad used to talk about it, it was as if every time we are talking about death, death, death. Every time my father would say, I'm not afraid to die. Even if I die today, I'm prepared, I'm ready. And of a truth, he was. He was. He was. So I encourage you today to begin to think about life for your loved ones after you are gone and begin to put things in shape to make it easy for them. Thank you for listening to me on today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. See you in my next episode. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. We really hope today's episode has given you some great tools, resources, and a boost of confidence to take charge of your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. You can also follow us on our social media handle for even more tips and a wonderful community that's all about supporting your growth. Join us next time for more uplifting stories and encouraging insights. Until we meet again, keep shining bright, stay inspired, and embrace your unique path to a better tomorrow.